Alright, back on. Um, really fucking depressed today. Like, really, really fucking depressed. Like, last year, I hit the worst depression of my life around this time. And the past couple days, today especially, I wish I was as depressed as I was last year, because this is so much worse. Like, I was eating earlier today, and I just wanted to stop. Like, I didn't want to sustain myself. Like, I'm going through a phase where self-care is really fucking hard. Like, I can take care of my animals. I can take care of them, but I don't feel like I can take care of myself right now. Like, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. I'm borderline thinking about checking myself into a hospital. So if you see me disappear for a couple of days, hopefully that's it. When I took a shower yesterday and felt worse getting out of the shower. Because this past year, when I've been thinking about killing myself, it's always in the shower. Like, that way I can get off myself and not leave a mess for somebody else. So yeah, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. It's a little bit chemical. It's conditional because of where my life is at right now, and it's seasonal with the environment and the weather and all that. And Christmas is 8 days away, and I'm in pain. I'm in major fucking pain. But I want to finish this. I want to finish this edit. But I'm pretty sure all I've got in me right now is one page. Like, if I can just do one fucking page, that's a win. But I'm having a really tough time. So I think what my plan is right now is do one page, do at least one page, and then make myself some hot cocoa with milk, and go back to playing Warframe. I try not to feel too sorry for myself right now, but I'm fucking miserable. I'm really fucking miserable right now. Like, this hurts. I've never felt this shitty before. I've never felt this bad. So, yeah, not to whine, but I've used up all my therapy that insurance will cover this year so far, and Twitch is streaming is all I really got at this point. But I'm really struggling this year. And I've been trying to reach out to people and to have contact, and it's got me feeling more alone than I ever have been in my life. This has been the worst year of my life. And I don't really see light at the end of the tunnel right now. Like, my greatest accomplishment this year is the fact that I finished this draft. And I gotta finish this edit. And then I gotta try and illustrate it. I gotta try and get this published. But right now, I just don't want to be, like I said, self-care. Taking care of myself right now feels like an uphill battle. So, let's see how far I can get on this. Chapter 12. Arista looked small. The cavern's glow haloed her monstrous silhouette. Those vast curling limbs, the bioluminescent jewels across her brow like a natural-born crown. And yet she stood before him with her shoulders rounded, her posture bowed. like defiance had finally been drained out of her. Defiance had finally been drained out of her, like like all self-worth had been drained out of her. Like all self-worth had drained out of her, yeah. Garrett, the words tangled. She swallowed, tried again, voice barely more than a bruise. I can't keep you here. The admission looked like it hurt her physically. Garrett glanced around the damp cave, the mounds of treasure piled like washed-up refuse, and tried to ease the tension with a light breath. I suppose not, he said gently. There's nothing to make a fire with anyway, and I'm getting hungry. That actually made her flinch. Her gaze darted away, landing on one of the nearby skulls, as if she couldn't bear to look at him. Her jaw clenched, fighting back tears she didn't want to see. All right, she whispered at last, the words trembling with old wounds and fresh loss. All right. Arista looked at a hand, hesitantly, almost apologetically, as though asking for his. But the moment she saw her own palm, she froze. Her fingers were long, dark green, webbed with soft blue, alien, wrong, unworthy. She began to pull back, but Garrett stepped forward and took her hand before she could retreat. His grip was warm, unwavering. Her breath hitched in shock. He lifted his free hand and touched her chin with a gentleness that felt impossible in this cold place, coaxing her gaze upward until her golden eyes met his. I trust you, he said softly, to keep me safe. Her massive form quivered, actually quivered. As if that phrase had struck a blow. The terror of the deep brought to the edge of collapse by a single honest touch. They moved toward the adjoining pool, its waters glowing a soft lunar blue. As Arista slid into it, her enormous body shimmered, dissolving into the sleek, elegant shape of her mermaid form. Fins replaced tentacles as the glow of her skin brightened under the water. Say radiance, so I'm not doubling up on the word glow. You're so beautiful, he breathed. He stepped into the icy water, sucking in a quick gasp at the cold, and she instinctively reached for him. The direction feels off, but whatever. He stepped into the icy water, sucking in a quick gasp at the cold. He stepped into the icy water, and she instinctively reached for him. Her hands, rough and webbed, found his shoulders. He pulled himself close, wrapped his arms around her waist, and kissed her. Deep, gentle. And like fierce. Deep, gentle, and complete. Their rise toward the surface was slow. The lovers remained in a soft, lingering kiss the entire way up. Not the frantic, possessive embrace from their descent, but one full of quiet reassurance. Marissa's gills kept Garrett's lungs full of air, her arms around him as though she feared he might drift away. Her arms around him as though she feared he might drift away. Get rid of she feared. When they breached the surface, they lingered in the rocking surf, holding each other as the tide carried them closer to shore. Garrett's feet brushed sand, and still he did not let her go. She was still a wild thing of the ocean. I need to double up on the word still. She was still, and still he did not let her go. She was a wild thing of the ocean. Fierce, dangerous, intoxicating, but now she felt like something else too. Entirely, but now she felt like something else entirely. Not his. Not yet, but open to him, cracked just enough to let him in, to let light him in. Cracked just enough to let light in. No. To let him in. Eventually, shyly, almost guiltily, she began to pull away, inching toward deeper water as if she meant to vanish again beneath the waves. Eventually, shyly, almost guiltily, she began to pull away, inching toward deeper water, as if she meant to vanish again beneath the waves. Let's take out the word again. Stay with me, Garrett said, his hands resting lightly on her hips. He smiled, just for a little while. Her eyes flicked up hesitantly. You haven't had enough of me today? You don't want to run? Garrett laughed softly. I want to be near you, preferably without turning into a prune. Smiled softly. This smile should be a grin. A small grin tugged at her lips. It wasn't proud or sly or dangerous, just uncertain and hopeful. A look she rarely allowed herself to wear. It's uncertain, hopeful. A look she rarely allowed herself. The sea around them brightened, that familiar bioluminescent shimmer rolling across the waves as if answering her mood. Rolling across the waves. I don't like that action. His request. Garrett let the water warm. Garrett felt the water warm. I don't like that. Garrett felt the water warm. It sounds like one of them is peeing. That's what it sounds like. Garrett felt the water change. Not by temperature, but by the soft humming magic she radiated when she relaxed. And then she transformed. Slowly this time. Her hair unraveled. Thick tendrils thinning into long strands that drifted over her shoulders like floating silk. Flowing silk. The feelers dissolved into curls and ripples of dark purple that shined in the light. Then her hands claws shrinking, webbing pulling inward, fingers smoothing and reshaping until she hesitantly flexed them, as though relearning the shape of her own touch. Her tail was last. Lastly, her tail. Her then lastly, before it was her. The great powerful sweep of it. Great powerful length of it shimmered beneath the surface, edges dissolving into streams of turquoise light before splitting, shortening, reforming into legs. Shapely, trembling, unmistakably human. That reforming into shapely legs. She wavered at first, unsure of how to stand, and Garrett held her carefully, steadying her. Sudden struggle with gravity. Rissa drew a sharp breath, hugging herself as though the transformation had stripped away an entire armor she wasn't ready to lose. Stripped away an armor she wasn't ready to lose. Leaving her vulnerable. Garrett reached for her hand again. She let him take it. They waded together through the surf, the waves nudging them gently toward the sand. With every step, her grip tightened, not in fear for the water, but in fear of the shore, fear of letting him see her like this. They waded together through the surf. The waves nudging them gently toward the sand. With every step, her grip tightened, not in fear of the water, no. Every step, her grip tightened. In response to some unnamed fear. Garrett squeezed her hand, grounding her. You're perfect, he murmured. You mean when I'm not a fish? She asked sharply. In a weak and wounded way. Always perfect, he responded. As he leaned in to kiss her temple. They reached the sand, warm beneath their feet, and walked a few paces hand in hand. I don't see them hand in hand, I see them arm in arm. Arm in arm. She stared down at her human form, toes curling into the shore like she was trying to remember how to stand on a world that wasn't water. They reached the sand, warm beneath their feet, and walked a few paces arm in arm. Let's get rid of that. They continued arm in arm, leaning against one another, both too enamored to speak. While the curse most likely remained, some other spell seemed to have been broken, one that needed no words. While the curse undoubtedly remained, some other spell seemed to have been broken. Cast on each of them. When they needed no words. Did not require words. Page 4 of 12. They passed the familiar outcropping of rocks, their rocks, and something warm flickered between them at the memory. Their first argument, their first apology, the first hint of something like trust, now walking side by side, fingers brushing, the moment felt almost unreal. The moment or this moment felt almost unreal. This moment felt almost unreal. I can't believe we're on page 4 already. Not a lot has really happened. Marissa wobbled on her unsteady legs again and huffed in annoyance. Garrett caught her elbow with a grin. Careful, land is much trickier than water. She stuck out her tongue at him, an absurdly human gesture, and nearly tripped again. Lula! Lulabelle! Lula, please shut up. Lula, no. No. She scoffed and then smiled. Before nearly tripping again. They were giddy and soft and drunk on each other. They were giddy and drunk on each other. They were giddy and drunk off each other. Or perhaps Garrett was drunk on the miracle of seeing her like this, uncertain, curious, and luminous. Boom. We were giddy and drunk off each other, but as they neared his lean-to, the mood shifted. Arista slowed first. Her hand tightened on his. Something's wrong. Something is wrong, she whispered. Garrett saw it a heartbeat later. The structure was askew, tilted, sagging, as if shoved, not toppled by the wind. Then, as they watched it, it finished collapsing in a clatter of sticks and woven vines. A shape moved through the rubble. Large, stocky, and bristly. Garrett heard the grunt and felt every muscle in his body snap taut. It's a boar, he breathed. A big one. Excitedly. A big one. This does feel good, getting this far. Like I'm on page 4. I meant to stop at the end of like page 2. Okay. Let's see. Back to ChatGPT. Today's today, Wednesday? Today is Wednesday, yeah. See, I should have finished 12 yesterday, but I didn't sleep. I was out of it. Today, it's depression. This is honestly helping my depression quite a bit, but I'm really tempted to just call this quits for today, or for now at least. Maybe try it again later to finish up this chapter. I wanted to be finishing 13 today, though. Hey, Rizzy. Hey, dude. This is coming along very well, and importantly, it's noticeably tighter than the previous version. You've already done the real work here. The emotional through line is clearer, the transformations are more economical, and the intimacy lands with less redundancy. Now I'll give you precise, high-impact feedback, broken into what's working, what still bloats, and specific trims you can make without harming the scene. What's working strongly now. Arista looks small, still works, it earns its place. Her shame, trust, vulnerability arc is clean and readable. Not his, not yet is an excellent restraint choice. Keep it. Transformation economy. One monster, mermaid beat. One monster, mermaid beat. One mermaid, human beat. No longer cataloging every glow twice. This is a huge improvement. Tonal control. The banter is lighter and shorter, which makes the incoming danger feel earned rather than whiplashy. It's still heavy and why. You've mostly trimmed repetition, but you still have sentence-level inflation and stacked metaphors. These don't add new information. They slow pacing. Think of this pass as polishing glass, not carving stone. Surgical tightening suggestions, line level. We'll all show you exact sentences that can be trimmed or compressed with explanation. You don't need to apply all of them. Pick what resonates. Opening paragraph, like all self-worth had been drained out of her. You've already showed this with small, rounded shoulders, bowed posture. Cut the claws entirely or compress it too, as if something vital had drained out of her. That's not 30 to 40 words, but okay. Skull beat. His gaze darted away, landing on one of the near her. This is effective, but you don't need the explanation after it, as if she couldn't bear to look at him. That's not 20 words, but let's see. But yeah. Hand description: alien, wrong, unworthy. Kiss description: deep, gentle, complete, excellent, don't add more here later. You can cut this line: one full of quiet reassurance. The earlier sentence already establishes that. Open to him section, save 30 words. She was a wild thing of the ocean, not his, not yet. You can shave it slightly, cut one descriptor line. She was a wild thing of the ocean, cracked just enough to let him in, but open to him. Fuck that. This chapter is now doing exactly what it should. Emotional arc, power inversion setup, romantic restraint, pacing into danger is nearly perfect. At this point, the goal is not to keep cutting aggressively, it's to remove friction so the reader glides. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to leave off on page 4. It's a boar, he breathed excitedly, a big one. Instinct overruled caution. He released Arista's hand and slipped forward, shoulders low, steps cat quiet. The old hunter's habits came rushing back, the way to angle his feet so they didn't snap a twig, the way to move with the underbrush rather than through it. Steps cat quiet as he slunk into the underbrush. Okay. Yeah. So halfway through page 4, I'm going to leave it at that. I've cut quite a bit. I'm down to 3,551 words. I still want to trim, at least 500, 552 words, at least. His stomach cramped with hunger. Finally, meat. Real meat. Meat he could cook for her. Meat that didn't come from the sea that she ruled. Meat he could provide. Get rid of this line altogether. Let's finish this page. Cramped. His stomach cramped with hunger. I think I like quaked. Quaked with hunger. Finally, meat. Real meat. Meat he could cook for her. Meat he could provide. Take this line out too. Meat he could provide for her. He glanced back. Arista stood frozen on the beach, confused, tilting her head like some strange shoreline bird. She didn't understand the danger. She didn't understand the animal. She didn't understand land. You don't need any of those. Her innocence flared in unexpected protectiveness in him. Protectiveness and pride in him. He gave her a firm gesture. Stay, don't move. She stayed, but her brows pinched with worry. Okay. So that's 4 pages. So I did 3 when I was only planning on doing 1. Pretty proud of that right now, with the way I'm feeling. Good for me. Good for me. Yeah, let's do another quick bit of edification from ChatGPT. How's page 4 looking? Page 4 is strong, the transition works, the threat lands cleanly, and Garrett's instinctive shift into hunter mode feels earned. You're no longer meandering here, this is doing its job. What follows is fine-grained polish, not structural concern. Emotional physical pivot, this is the hardest tonal shift in the chapter, and you pull it off. They're rocks, almost unreal. That nostalgic warmth makes the intrusion of danger feel violent in a good way. Clean threat introduction. The lean-to reveal is excellent, askew, sagging, collapsing, then movement, then shape, then sound. This escalation is textbook and effective. Garrett's POV snaps into place. The hunter instincts are very Garrett. Physical awareness, hunger and pride, competence without bravado. This does not sound like you, it sounds like him. Where you can tighten without losing impact. You're about 90% of the way there. Remaining issues, light repetition, a couple of abstract phrases where concrete action would hit harder, below our specific optional trims. Rocks, memory, option, giddy and drunk, redundancy, fuck you, lean-to, description, excellent, but one cut, the structure was sagging, as if shoved, not toppled by the wind. Yeah. Sagging, as if shoved, not toppled by the wind. As if shoved, not toppled by the wind. Finally, meet real meat. Finally, meet real meat, something he could provide for her. Arista description, clarify emotion. Her innocence flared protectiveness and pride in him. Her innocence stirred a sudden protectiveness and pride in him. It's a clarity pass. I like that, though. This page is doing exactly what it should. Emotional continuity preserved. Stakes escalate naturally. Garrett's competence is clear but not glorified. Arista's vulnerability is visible without being undercut. Most importantly, the scene now moves. You're no longer overriding the transition. You're letting action carry the weight. If you want next, I can... Okay. Alright. I still have 12 pages, but I'm down quite a bit. I've taken out nearly 400 words, it looks like. Okay. I'm going to take a break from this for now. Have something to drink. I got like one fizzy water left. Or I could have tea. Or I could have that hot cocoa I was thinking about having. Thinking hot chocolate. I could really go for some hot chocolate. Like right now, I don't want to really eat anything. With sweets. That's the level of depressed that I am right now. I want sweets. So, yeah. I'm going to take a break from this. I'm going to hop on to Warframe, I think. Play for a little bit. Try to get back into it. Do some grinding. Farm some Orican shit. Do a survival. Maybe a couple of survival missions. So, if anybody's watching right now, please feel free to follow me as I switch over to the PlayStation. Alright, peace out.